Can you see my surgery bandages?
Okay. So everybody, you're here with Becky Shank and Jen Colleen.
Scully, Jen Scully.
What?
Jen Scully.
Scully, I thought was your middle name.
No, Colleen is my middle name.
Oh, geez, I got it backwards. Okay, Scully, I got it backwards. Okay, well, I'm Becky Sue, Becky Shank. But anyway, we're just kind of talking about just getting started with our first meet and greet, and it's so nice to see your face. And
yeah, it's really nice that you just like put some energy out there to build a group, and the universe started throwing like all these amazing people in. I watched some of the conversations in the group and I'm like, oh, this is not happenstance. It's universal design.
I don't think so either. It's so weird because it's really outside my comfort zone, because I have always just sort of been under the radar, and and maybe there's some fear behind that, because I feel like my whole life I've always played it small because I felt like I was misunderstood, and I didn't want anybody to think I was weird, because I mean, I remember being in kindergarten, right? I used to talk to myself. I was probably talking to my higher self or talking to my spirit guides. I didn't know it. We come into the world with these gifts. And I had my kindergarten teacher stop me, and she said, Becky, you shouldn't talk to yourself because people are going to think you're weird. And so I remember like I closed down at that point, and I was always self-conscious about what people thought about me at that point. And God bless her, she probably didn't realize what she was doing. Maybe because
she probably thought she was being helpful.
Maybe she did, but now
it sounds like the inception of a core belief, though.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that I've done, I'm aware of that, and I've done some work on it, but maybe there's still a little hook in there that I need to kind of pull out somehow. But it seems like now, for some reason, after, we were traveling, I was talking about that story with you before we started recording, is I'm going to be doing a training for social workers through the NASW in Pennsylvania. And it's really outside my comfort zone. And
good for you.
So, but
your face just flushed.
What's that?
Your face flushed.
Did it? It probably did. It's because I don't know, like.
There's energy around that.
There's part of me that's scared to do that. But I'm noticing lately that the more that I step into like what is uncomfortable for me, and the more that I face my fears, like, and the more I stand on my truth, just simple things like, there's controversial things that I've done to stand up for my truth and what I believe. And every time I do that, it's like this abundance and these blessings just keep coming in. So I forget what we were talking about before I started recording this, but I was talking about intuition and doing this training on intuition and the transference and countertransference process. And you were explaining to me about how you really don't always want some of your clients to know what your views are on some things. And I think we all, we don't want to put our beliefs and our programs on the people that we work with, for sure. But what I was going to say about that is, don't you think that they know kind of deep down?
I think a lot of the people I currently work with, because of the way they came to me, how I described to you, they're people who are shut down, they're programmed people. So I don't know that they're very intuitive, but the people who are starting to find me now are a different story. So here in Arizona, the clients that I'm starting to attract are coming to me because of my beliefs.
There you go.
Yeah, like I have one client who hired me because I'm anti-vax. She was like, I just need a therapist who I don't have to explain this to. This is my reality. My children were injured, and I can't be gaslit by one more person from, the healthcare world. And so, yes, my new clients, and I don't intend to move forward taking clients who are completely out of alignment with me.
Right. Exactly.
But these people came with me from, that the temporary, like I had this year in Illinois, and it was just liminal space. I mean, and it was really an exercise for me in sitting in liminal space, like not setting up roots, not getting comfortable, knowing that I was going to be moving on, and not being attached to having to have everything be a perfect fit. It was easy for me to slide into my girlfriend's place, even though her views are so different than mine, but I just needed to make money.
Well,
And so I slipped in there and I spent that
you
year
did
in
what
that
you had to
liminal
do.
space. Yeah, I did what I
Right.
had to do.
Hmm.
So now moving forward, my intention is to kind of grow with intention.
Yay. Sounds good. Good, good,
Yeah.
good. Well, I do think that, as I said before, at least I'm seeing the more I step into my truth in that space, the universe starts to answer. Like, I had no idea I was going to start this group, but I felt like really alone for a long time with a lot of my views. I mean, even in college, there are things that I just didn't agree to with the training and, my friends. It was, I don't know. I've never been a political person at all, but it just seemed like a lot of the things were so backward and inverted.
Yeah.
Everything, just seemed so backwards. And so I just kept quiet because I'm like, well, I don't believe that, but I don't know what I believe yet. um, but hey, I wanted to get you answered a couple questions when you signed up for this Zoom, and your superpower. You said your
Mhm.
superpower is believing in others until they believe in themselves. So I was just,
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. So how do
Yeah.
you use that? How do you
Um,
that to?
well, I think I've mentioned to you before, I'm non-diagnosing. Like, I just abhor the whole process of diagnosis. First of all, it's totally fucking arbitrary. Like, I'm sorry, but I can't give my client a blood test. I can't look at their neurotransmitters. I don't get an image of their brains. So it's this like incredible power that we're given that I don't think I should be given. Like, I don't feel comfortable in that authority. It's disgusting. It's really disgusting to me. And I think psychiatry is largely a pseudoscience because of it. What other kind of doctor can you go into and they can give you a diagnosis with no laboratory proof? Like, the doctor could just say you have cancer without ever taking your blood. I'm just not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So I come from a non-diagnosing kind of angle. And so I'm always, and because I'm a trauma therapist, I'm always orienting my clients towards it's not what's wrong with you, it's what happened to you. Like, we live out our core beliefs. They get programmed into us when we're very young, and that's a trauma connection as far as I'm concerned. You hear your teacher say people will think you're weird, and your brain just wired that in, and that is a neural connection of trauma.
Yes.
This negative view of myself. And
Hmm.
I really think I don't know what your beliefs are, but I believe in like a God consciousness, not necessarily like a God head, but a God consciousness. I believe in a collective unconscious. And I believe that a lot of the energy that happens on this planet is to disconnect us as human beings from the collective unconscious, right? And I think we're here for the experience of duality. I believe in pre-incarnation choices. And so I think we come to experience certain struggles. And so I believe that some people come in to have the experience of not feeling like they belong or feeling weird. And once I can kind of talk to people about that, and every time their core beliefs come up for them, not only help them process through the neuron connection through trauma therapy, but help them reframe the way they see what they perceive as something bad about themselves as actually something like a gift, a universal
Right.
gift. Um, people begin to believe in themselves.
Yes.
Like, people are programmed, right? Like, people are your parents say, oh, you can't go do that, you have to work 9 to 5, you got to pay your bills, you have to like buy into this program, and so people shut down their magic. And so I just
Absolutely.
feel like I'm good at helping people give themselves permission to live in their magic. And it's something I like. It's interesting for me to hear you say you struggle to find your voice and you always kind of kept quiet. I've always been the opposite. I've always been incredibly outspoken, even as a kid, I was organizing protests at school.
Oh, cool.
Like I've always been a black sheep, and I've always embraced that piece of myself. Like I don't fit in society, and I don't fit into my family, and I have peace with that. And I'm not looking to fit in because I know I incarnated for that lesson. And so I just feel like I live the example that people can follow, that you can step into yourself, and it's okay, even without anyone's approval, right? Because the approval comes from here, and that's the connection to here. And that's all you fucking need. You know,
Love
I don't
it.
need a doctor's approval or a teacher's
Exactly.
approval. You know, I need like the approval of the universe.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, so my clients, the most positive feedback I usually get from my clients is like, people say to me, thank you for like helping me believe in myself. Thank you for accepting me just as I am. Thank you for teaching me I'm okay just as I am. That's the kind of feedback I always get. And I'm okay with that.
And I think that if you can help people with that basic like understanding of just self-acceptance, to me, that's where things really start to open up. With
Yeah,
after people have that awareness and ability to really accept and love and have compassion for themselves.
yeah,
That
yeah.
I mean, I saw that happen in my own life too. After my especially after my father took his own life in 2016, like I had
Oh
to
my
like start
gosh, Becky.
to like really think about, well, how could he do that? And how I'm a therapist, like like how could I not help him and save him from that. Anyway, so I started to really look at the internal family systems model a little bit closer, and it really helped me look at him with compassionate eyes and understanding the different parts of him, and that was just one part of him that was suicidal, and it wasn't all of him. And then really applying that to myself, I found really like love and compassion, even more love and compassion for myself through that process. So that just opens up so many doors. It's just being able to accept yourself and have compassion and for yourself and others. And I actually mended my relationship with my older sister, who I never got along with, just realizing the dynamics that were in my family, and how, I was the youngest. I was like 9 years younger than her. So I was taught how to treat her. I was taught that she was a black sheep in the family. And so
Mhm.
there's just been so much in my own life that I was able to work through, that then you can apply that, and help other people, right? That's becomes our triumph. The things that we come through, becomes our triumph and our purpose of, and how we can, become able to help other people with that. So I love that you're doing that. Your client sounds like you're getting some really good feedback, and people are responding well to.
I don't usually have a retention problem.
Yeah,
Usually I have too much retention. Like I'm ready to cut clients loose before they're ready to go. I think everybody needs a cheerleader,
yeah,
and some people never get that. And so they're happy to have that. And I don't care what our ethics boards tell us. I love my clients, not all of them,
yes,
but I mean, I just fall in love with each of them a little bit.
yes.
Like they're just such beautiful examples of like human resiliency. I just sit in awe of my clients
Me
when they
too.
share their world. I love it. Yeah.
And it's
Um,
impossible to not for them to not affect us.
oh,
I mean,
for
that's
sure.
the thing too, is like we're learning from them. I mean, the lessons that I've learned from my clients is it's just been it's been amazing, and it's okay. It's supposed to be that way.
Uh-huh.
So it's a
Uh-huh.
beautiful process.
I used to really struggle with abundance blocks. I only think I'm about halfway through that, like in my own processing. But this is one of the things that kind of contributes to my abundance blocks is that it's so reciprocal that sometimes I feel like, is it really fair for me to take this financial
Yes.
payment because I get so much out of the process? Now, other times I don't feel bad at all because I'm not getting shit. But it
Right.
does.
Oh, you froze. We got some connection problems.